All right, let's get back to the breaking news now this hour. The Associated Press reporting Russia has announced retaliation. They said they were going to do something. Now we know what it is. To the president's expulsion of 60 Russian diplomats and the closure of the Russian consulate in Seattle. Moscow saying it will now expel the same number of U.S. diplomats and it will close the U.S. consulate in St. Petersburg. Congressman Joe Wilson, Republican of South Carolina, is a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. So we knew they were going to do something. It's great to have you on the program. Thank you. Is this what we thought?
Well, Harris, thank you for your service. And we did anticipate retaliation, but it's counterproductive. What Putin is doing is not in the interest of the people of Russia. In fact, I've been to St. Petersburg a number of times. The consulate there is substantial to back up the cruise ships, the American tourists, the tourists from throughout the Western world that come and spend money and create jobs in Russia. And what Putin is doing is he's taking the country in such a direction that it's going to be against the interests economically and in terms of the interaction of Russians with people around the world.
Do we have that many people going to Russia on vacation on cruise ships?
There really are. It's an amazing number, including my second son and his wife and family were there last year. And I've seen the country. I started visiting Russia in 1990. When I first went there, it was like stepping back to the 1930s, Harris. And now when you go, it's a modern country. And so sadly, what he's doing is creating a circumstance where it's going to create economic implosion. It's the disrespect. And hey, it's clear what he's done is state-sponsored assassination. The consequence is proper by President Trump, by Prime Minister Theresa May. And so what the Western countries are doing is very appropriate. What Putin is doing is not in the interest of the Russian people.
Yeah, when you talk about state-sponsored assassination, Putin doesn't strike me as a guy who cares probably about anybody, let alone his own people.
Well, he should, and this is really following with 10,000 people who have died in Ukraine with his aggression, the aggression in Moldova, the aggression in the Republic of Georgia. Indeed, I think Putin is creating a circumstance of disrespect for what should be a great country, Russia.
How hard can we push them based on their own behavior, Russia? How hard can we push Putin and his country when we know we have to have them for North Korea and to keep nukes from being on the market for Kim Jong-un?
Well, the way we push, I appreciate what President Trump is doing. We, through the European Defense Initiative, we have Deterrent Initiative. We now have American troops in Poland. We have NATO troops in Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. We're backing up, and President Trump was very courageous to provide offensive, defensive weapons to the people of Ukraine. And so we need to be pushing there, and then also economically. We have a great opportunity working with our allies of Central and Eastern Europe and Western Europe, and also our allies in the Middle East, to develop energy resources which can be beneficial to our allies, but also have a very negative consequence to the Putin regime.
I'm just getting some more details. I really appreciate you being here for this breaking news. We need leadership on the Hill to join us. And so with Congressman Issa and now Congressman Wilson, it's so important to get your perspective. The decision was now published by the Russian state newspaper. And apparently the Foreign Minister Lavrov summoned Ambassador John Huntsman today to inform him of this decision. And here's what we're also learning. Apparently there were 2 other consulates that were being considered for closing. Are we done yet with their retaliation?
Well, they may continue because, again, the Putin regime is so inward-looking, Harris. It's really sad. They had an opportunity to develop. We saw the end of socialism in the 1990s. We saw a free market democracy being developed. And sadly, the oligarchs who are back up the Putin dictatorship have taken control.
All right. Representative Wilson, Assistant Majority Whip and member of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the House. Great to get your perspective today on this breaking news. Thank you, sir, for being along.
Well, I'm honored to be here, and I'm still hopeful for the people of Russia that change can occur. and it should by removing Putin as the dictator.
Well, you have really given us some interesting information. I did not know how large the numbers were and how this could affect the economy, particularly cruise ships and vacation takers who go to Russia, and how much this potentially could hurt their own economy. Because if you don't have a place where Americans can go and a consulate, they're not going to go. Sir, thank you.
Honor to be with you.